So here in Guam, we have basically for medical care, we have two MTFs. We have our Andersen Ambulatory Clinic, and then Naval Hospital has an actual hospital. So those are really our only two medical facilities. Outside of that, we're very, very limited in care on the island. I'm Technical Sergeant Tianna Weymer. I work as a radiology technician here at Andersen Air Force Base. We rely on Navy Hospital for all of our after hours and urgent care for our patients. And patients don't just have an issue that starts and stops, right? So we can't pause it, it's ongoing. So if something happens after hours or over the weekend and they need to get seen in the ER, we have no, unless the patient tells us, we really don't know what was done. So part of PCSing and going to a new department as X-ray techs is the first thing we get acquainted with is our PAC system, and that's just fancy for our server and software system that stores and transmits all the images that we take in the room. So you have to know that because that's how you're going to manipulate your images, get them to the doctor and get them read. Going through that, I immediately noticed that it was a completely different operating system than I'd ever used before my prior 10 years. So coming here on Guam, I had to relearn it, and part of it is just you have to get in there and learn it. So I instantly noticed on the setup of the screen that I had several bases listed and Navy hospitals also listed, but when I clicked on them, nothing happened. So that was my first clue as to we don't have access for one, and started making me think of how to get access.
There are a number of areas where this was frustrating before. You know, if we do an x-ray here, I can look at the images, but even a simple x-ray done at Navy, I can't see. If a patient's been in the ER, it can be very practical because, say, they follow up with me and then the ER doctor did something else. I want to know why, and so I can actually look at the images and see why he decided to override what the radiologist said.
The first thing I did was I contacted our Fujifilm rep because they are the ones that own the system that we use. They're always our first step in trying to resolve issues. So I asked him first, I said, hey, I noticed we have a option, well, it says that we're supposed to be viewing Navy images and we can't see them. A lot of our patients go to Navy for specialty care. So how do we get access? And his response was, it's impossible. After putting an official ticket in through Fujifilm, they circled around through our rep again and he came back and said, well, for beginners, you're going to need to get permission from higher level Air Force. This is going to go way above you to even start this project. And I said, okay, well, who do I need to get permission from? So he gave me a name and I contacted that person directly. And other options I was trying in the meantime, and so I just wanted to find out what exactly I needed to do to get access for our patients. And so I contacted the person he had mentioned from AFMOA, and that's when I finally heard a yes, this is possible. I explained our situation, and it's actually Mr. Brian Baker. He was awesome, and he really turned this whole thing around. He was the first person that said, absolutely, he understood our situation, the need for access to images, and he began working from the top down with his expertise and knowledge, getting everybody involved.
Sergeant Weymer brought the problem to us and said that the system had the capability to be able to see them. Why wasn't it working? So we started doing some little research, and we found out the firewall was blocking the communications between our systems and Naval Hospital systems. The NOSC was able to look into the problem, identify what it was, and fix the Air Force side. Consequently, there was another issue. The Navy's firewall was also blocking all our communications. So we had to submit a different ticket and fix the Navy firewall so they were able to communicate.
It was a frustrating thing. I know pretty frequently patients would say, can I see the images? And I always had to say no. So it's very nice that they've been able to help us with that. Being able to view those images now, instead of just being like, oh, here's the read, and they say, well, what does that mean? I can actually show them what it means. And so for some patients, that's very helpful in understanding it. So that can be very helpful in actually changing what I do potentially.
So it continues to evolve, but specifically getting access to just Navy hospital images for us took a little over a year. Part of that, especially with radiation. So our patients, if any amount of our patients, any percentage of our patients are having duplicate exams simply because we can't access images, in my mind, that's not acceptable. I wouldn't want my husband to get duplicate images, I wouldn't want my son to get duplicate images, and I view all of our patients just like I would my family. It wasn't enough for me to arrive at Guam, see how things were, and just kind of hang with it. It just wasn't enough. I had to make it better. And I'm not the type of person to take no for an answer when it comes to this kind of a thing. So I kept going until I mean, it was going to take a lot of people to tell me no for me to really believe that this was not possible. Here at Andersen, our motto is prepare to prevail, and we take our mission seriously. My mission is my patients, and I can't be prepared to prevail with roadblocks. And my patients are what drive me to overcome those obstacles. So at the end of the day, when you get feedback, when you get told no, when people in higher places are telling you it's not possible, it all comes back to our patients, and they're what motivate me to keep pressing, to keep pushing, to make things better.